Hello everyone, welcome. So, why I didn't publish any video regarding Pauper news? Well, there wasn't any need to it. I mean, the metagame was still plain and nothing changed for a lot of time. We got a lot of new decks, new cards, and um, the metagame shifted a lot, but then finally uh, we just got Mono Red, Affinity, and Terror as tier decks, and nothing changes anymore for some time. But there's a need to new video. We need to discuss about something. Well, I think that we should still talk about the state of the Pauper format because uh, yeah, we still have some issues, and I guess that all those, at least regarding not regarding the ban or unban, because we can also talk about banning Monastery's Whisper, because I think that we should ban Monastery, but I also think that it's not the time yet, or at least I don't wanna talk about bans in this video. So we're talking about Unfinity, name sticker goblin, and what is the issue with Unfinity and other cards playable in Unfinity, but which aren't seeing any play on Magical Line. Why? So let's go with some title tab. Alright. So, Namesticker Goblin has been uh, a huge success on monoradicule data, at least on Magical Line, because in paper, most people probably still are still playing Goblin Blast Runner or less card advantage focused version of the Red Aggro deck. And on Magical Line, the card is slightly different. Why? Because if you take a look at underscore Goblin, you can see that this creature is worded very differently. This card works with the stickers, and the online version works with a dice roll. So basically, as Scryfall itself explain, this version of the card is only available on Magical Line and attempts to replicate how the card will function in the full sticker since that was available. So basically, it's just a mere imitation. So it's not the same exact card, but with a longer text, try to imitate the card and do something very similar. Some people is arguing that the online version is way better, so for that reason, so that's the reason why it's being played on Magical Line and not being played on paper. But in my opinion, the card is very much the same thing. So the only difference is that you don't choose how much mana you generate when you play it, because uh, you choose the sticker to put on the goblin uh, before even before playing it, because you choose your stickers at the start of the game. So since the game starts, you can know how much mana you will generate. So for that reason, it's probably better the paper version, because in paper you have the choice on how much mana you can generate, and in my opinion, that's much better than sometimes generating more mana. Yeah, we also have the main difference compared to the paper version, that the online version can generate 6 mana more than one time, because it's just a dice roll, and in paper instead you only have one or two 6 vowels stickers. So you can argue and say that the online version is better for that reason. But more or less the first copy of underscore Goblin Play is the same thing, but in paper and online. So the card is good, yeah, but beside the Cool Dota Red and a girl version of or Naya version of True Initiative doesn't seem much play because you know it generates only red mana and you can counter its ability if you destroy it because when the creature enters the battlefield you are forced to put a name sticker on the card to generate mana, and then after you do that, you add mana. Uh, you add mana as much vowels as the word you stick it on it. Um, I'm not sure if the card requires a ban because it's probably still early to say that, and also Kuldota is already a tier 1 deck, so it's difficult to understand how much strong is the underscore Goblin compared to the other broken cards like Monastery Whisper, just to say. But we shall also talk about cards like Command Performance. Command Performance is not the only card that doesn't exist on Magic Online. And if you wondered why the other Unfinity cards doesn't show much on Magic Online, well, the reason is pretty simple. They don't exist on the online version of the game. And it's very, very difficult for a card to become a metagame, to become part of the format when it's impossible for it to be played on Magic Online. And the reason is very, very simple in reality. The reason for that is just most people go on Magic on Goldfish and Digitopate or similar website to check on the last deck list and cards format, and Magic Online and other websites must get the deck list from MTGO. So for that reason, when a card is not being played on Magic Online, it's much more difficult for the other people or if the other players to know about it. Just to say, Magic Online has a larger amount of events on the platform because there are leagues. So weekly you get a ton of 5-0 results, and you also get two challenges per week. So at least two tournaments with a medium size amount of player, and that's very important because on paper usually you get to play a major event at maximum one time per week, and so that's a large is clearly not larger that, as Magic Online, and that's very important for my opinion. But we can also say that for that reason, it's important to note how much the metagame differs from paper and online. Well, just to show you, I in the last two events I played on in paper, in the last 2 weeks, I faced a very different metagame compared to the line, but in my opinion, is not this is not related at all with Unfinity and the stickers. It's just the events are played by different players. I mean, on Magic Online, you get to the top 8, or let's do the top 32, you get to get a prize, even if you don't get into top 8. In paper, only if you got into the top 8 or top 16. So That means you can you don't waste any money on magical line if you get a decent performance like a 3-3 with a in a tournament with uh, 50 or 60 players get you the entry cost and 5 chests, but on paper, on tabletop, if you don't x1 or x2, you don't get you don't enter in the top 8, and don't go on pair with how much you paid on the entry cost. And also there's the travel expenses, because most people go by car or there or train or even plane if you go very far. So that's probably the greater part of the cost. So for that reason, is very unlikely to even go in pair or get more than how much you paid to play the event. And that's very important because that means that most people tend to play decks that they feel very comfortable with them. So decks like Borosint, Kogate, and other mid-range piles that they may feel that are very solid or can perform very well on play against every deck in the format. Yeah, yeah, Cool Dota Red is still very played, but as you can see, decks like Kogate or even Baron's Synth, which Baron's Synth basically doesn't exist on Magical Line, are much more played compared uh, to Magical Line. And just to say, oh, mm, 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 mm. Just to say, in the Radio Atog event, Azer's Kogate was the most played deck. There, the Manipulative Terror wasn't much played, and in the Pauper 1, played a week later, Mono Blue Terror wasn't even played. I also think that is important to note that the online metagame can change more rapidly because you'll get to play more matches, more events, more leagues compared to the PPR environment. And on tabletop, you also face a lot of people that at most play one time per week, while on Magical Line you can play every day and for a lot of hours. So you may also face people that doesn't play much Magic, so they choose decks that they don't play much uh, just because they want to enjoy the event. So it's clear that regardless of the paper event in paper on tabletop, is clearly the environment more for fun oriented and also has more uh, value piles, mid-range oriented decks compared to the online environment, while decks like Altertron or decks playing stuff that is not present on Magic Online are available. Just to say, we talk about the other decks available on paper uh, playing Unfinity cards, and we should of course talk about finishing move and command performance because because command performance can be played in the Infect Gate decks, so basically a combo deck playing with 8 Infect creatures, Blighting Agent, and Plague Stinger. You basically play the same gameplay as Charles Tribe, or it's a blitz, so a bunch of cantrips, uh, counter spells like Duras, Apostle's Blessing, Dispel, and you can kill the opponent with Combat Performance and Basilisk Gate. So basically, you play the creature, stick +4 on strength on the creature because combat performance here play match as a power similar role of Beacon, Giant Roves, and similar stuff. And all of your stickers give the basic strength and toughness 5/1 to your creature. So it's pretty much a 2-turn kill combo deck, which is pretty cool because it's not much present in nowadays Pauper combo decks with these characteristics, since cards like Caracal and Shaman are often played in decks like Boros and Grixis Affinity, and usually Shaman kill those kind of combo decks. But of course, you can also play different stuff like Finishing Move or Chicken Trophy, and the this kind of rooster is very much played in Monogreen Stompy, at least in Japan, since the parent of Unfinity in 2022. Uh, Basically, the Japan community started playing Stampy with Chicken Troopy and Finishing Move. So the Monogram Stampy deck, which is not much played anymore in at least in Italy or MTGO, is still being played in that part of the world with a couple cards giving basically the same thing as command performance do in the infect combo decks with Basilisk Gate command performance. So very boosted permanent +4 in strength. While in Golgari Foodgate, finishing move is a very different card because it's about a fight effect, being able to kill an opponent creature, but it performs really well with Kudron Familiar because in this deck you play a bunch of food stuff like Lambast, Golden Egg, ginger and gingerbread. So of course your sticker could run familiar with stuff like where is it? Mystic Doom sandwich maybe? Yeah, uh, a very large amount of stickers which basically gives a large variety of different abilities. Just to say, the most powerful one is Giant Mana Cake, because you use sticker on the creature when this permanently leaves the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. And of course, Codron Familiar, you can reanimate it, instant speed, if you sacrifice a food. So basically, if you have a sacrifice outlet like makeshift munitions, you deal a ton of damage and get a ton of food. So basically, you tap 10 mana and deal 20 damage to your opponent. It's a pretty fast kill, but you require exactly that sticker. And sadly, you can't choose exactly what stickers will be your starting stickers start of the game, because you can choose the what stickers you are giving to the creature when you stick something, but at the start of the game you choose randomly 3 stickers out of your 10 sticker sheets decks, because the sticker sheets you need to at least 10 to start the game, and you can also of course playing more than 10, but all of those requires to be different from each other, and you are forced to choose randomly 3 out of 10. So it's pretty annoying, this part of the stickers part. The stickers mechanic, but it's still fun and I think can be very powerful. So I think we also should talk about Steel Streeter because this card has never seen been played before the last Sunday. Uh, so basically, this guy played Walls Cascade and played his Rhino Performer over the Initiative Dragon, Avenging Hunter. And I think that in a more aggro-oriented meta game, Steel Streeter is probably a little better because you can't really lose the initiative and can still get you some kind of advantage over your opponent. Just to say, if you're against an aggro deck, you can add lifelink with the where is it? With the Mystic Doom Sandwich sticker. If you're against a deck with a very huge creature, you can give that touch to your one or else, or make it a 5/1, so it still uh, can still do very interesting stuff. Can generate card advantage, can become very powerful also by doing extra abilities, like to say if the Eternal Acrobat Toast is probably my favorite with the Rhino Performance Still Streeter, because whenever this creature does combat damage to a player, exile target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its over control. Seems very powerful with a creature that sticker some sticker a permanent when it enters the battlefield. So basically, you can give the ability to trample creature or flying creature and then blink Steel Streeter every time you deal combat damage to your opponent. It's very cool from a point of view because I like blinking and looping stuff. That's very doing that. Okay, so I think we talked about everything, and as you can see, the online metagame at the last regarding the last challenge played in Sunday, 8th October, uh, is very is plenty enough different compared to the online to the paper metagame, at least in my opinion. The amount of players is pretty much the same, but Born is much more played, or I mean, Kuldota Red and Fingersborn, which are not the same deck, but play the same card advantage engine, which is Trabazon maybe, to identify the different decks, because and the main difference is just the presence of Kuldota, because to play Kuldota, you are forced to play Great Furnace, Chromatic Star, and Poltergeist Epicure, while the Pinger's Burn is slower compared to Cool Daughter Red Aquarius and has more card advantage. And then we have Multiple Terror, which is much more played on Magical Line, even though there's Metalcraft is also another very important deck alongside decks like Affinity and Gates. So the online metagame is much more clear and defined, so it's easier if you know what decks you are gonna face to metagame on Magical Line, but people tend to play only the decks most winning on Magical Line, which is good for a format because you know people want it to win, and I don't really know if that much that matter as much as how much they prefer the paper community to just play for fun or play the decks they feel which is better for the format uh, or to get in the top 8 on in paper. You can maybe say that it's much more difficult to get into top 8 in paper events since you need to perform better on paper, but in paper you can also intentionally draw the last turns if you got a perfect surge to say if you got in a 6 rounds events mm, for one result, in the last turn you can intentionally draw with your opponent, saving you a turn and giving you the 100% chance to get in the top 8, while on Magical Line you can't intentionally draw. If you are perfect score, you can consider to your opponent to let him or her or them to get in the top 8, but you can't force your opponent to consider you. So basically, there's a slightly different metagame. There are also slightly different rules, and the prize system very much different, because just getting in the top 32 gives you something like 5 chests, which is I mean, good enough. I mean, if you play a deck that doesn't really do much good, but still get 3 wins out of 6 rounds, you still get a decent amount of payout. Yeah, that's very important from my point of view. So, in my opinion, we talk about everything necessary, and if you like to discuss about what I said in this video, I do really like talking about it. So, bans, maybe we should talk about the banning or banning something in the next video, or after Rivals of Ixalan will be full spoilered or release it. And until then, in my opinion, the metagame will not change much to say anything more relevant. But maybe we shall talk more. We should talk deeper about the decks playing command performance, chicken chupi, or finishing move. And I probably should just show you some deck tech about these paper only decks, explaining why those cards are being played, and what they do, and how much important they are for the deck. So till then, bye.